Hey there. Hey there, welcome. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi there. I
Hi.
can hear you.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I have to keep pushing the button up here to let people in.
Good.
Jill McHale is joining us. Oh, great. How are you doing, Lauren?
Very good.
Super. Let's see if we can get everybody in. This is great. Okay, can you all see each other?
Yes.
Super.
Yes.
That's great. I'm not seeing everybody yet because I think there's 6 of you. Some of you may have your microphone off.
I mean, there shouldn't be any trouble with the connecting, right?
It shouldn't be, you know.
But it says Wi-Fi, and below it, Playful Dancer, and then to the left of that is this circle thing going around and around.
That's Cassandra and Phil trying to figure this
Yeah,
out.
eventually, you know, the name Playful Dancer should move up to the top, and then the check mark should eventually appear.
Yeah, there's no check mark, and it's been ever since I started talking to you.
Huh.
Cassandra,
Not
you
sure
haven't joined Zoom yet.
See, Barb's on, and I think Jill's on tonight, and Peggy and Alyssa Lyman, and
Okay. You want to
Cassandra,
and see if you can get in?
tap up above.
if nothing else, you know, you guys might just have to share your chair together.
Yeah, but then we have to.
Cassandra, can Cassandra hear me?
Well, honey, what about your computer and your iPad? Maybe you could do both.
Phil,
Zoom meeting.
these Phil and Cassandra.
Okay, here we are.
Phil, would everybody unmute your mics so that we can check in? Good. Cassandra,
Okay,
you
see you
made
there.
it.
Bye.
Okay. Hey, darling.
Well, you're gonna get Carla and I with masks on.
Well, marvelous. Hey, Carla, I'm so glad you're there.
Me too.
Super. So, Alyssa, if you want to have your picture with us, you can unclick your camera because we can't see you right now. But
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to get it to work on this computer, but I might have to go into my settings.
it's okay. You don't have to. If it's uncomfortable for you, don't worry about it.
All right.
We are in one place at one time over the internet. And I just think it's fascinating.
We can all put masks on if you want.
Yeah, you don't have to have masks on.
There you are.
Welcome, you guys. Hey, Jill.
Hold on, let me go.
I see Jill there. Hey, listen, we're all figuring this out. Everybody just relax. We're all learning how to do Zoom, including your host. And so I set up this as a 6-week sort of experimental, how can we figure this out? And I'm just really glad to see you all here. And it's helped to focus me and some of the things I want to talk about. So I'm going to go to where I can see all of you. And Alyssa, you're still not there, but that's okay. Hi, Lisa, or not Lisa, Peggy. Okay.
Hi.
Rebecca Davis is with us now. Hey, Rebecca. Welcome, sweetie.
Thank you.
Well, good. It takes us a few minutes to kind of all get organized and get oriented here. And I have some questions I want to ask you tonight. We talked about meditation as a practice to get your mind trained to be able to be a certain way when you're out in the rest of the world. Two of my main meditation teachers have said to me, meditation is a practice. You don't live your life on the cushion. So my question tonight is, where do you want your mind to be when you're kind of in neutral? You know, you're just bopping along, driving somewhere. I know it's rare these days, but we still do drive somewhere. Or you're doing your housework, or you're dealing with your bank balance, and you notice that your mind has gone off into negativity or rumination or worry, or just someplace you know isn't good for your body. Where do you want it to go? Because my whole love of the heart math meditation and heart coherence thoughts is that it was training my mind to go back to my heart. That when I found myself going "Arr, arr, 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 arr," really good at, then I would go, oh yeah, that's not the new normal anymore. I want to go back to this other place. And it's getting more and more defined for me. I'm going to work with this. Hang on just a minute. I don't like that angle. There, that's better. I would like to be able to choose where I want my mind to go. And therefore, that's what I'll choose in my meditation, because the meditation is the practice. And then when you find yourself in a place that you don't want your mind to be, it's trained, okay? So think about, we're mammals. We are, first of all, these wonderful angelic beings, but we're living in a mammal body. Hey, Bonnie. Bonnie has joined us. Hey, Bonnie, I'm talking about meditation right now. And one of the ways I like to think about myself as this animal body is I'm just this friendly Labrador, and I'm out bopping around and I really like woods and I really like the meadows and I'm just nosing around being a Labrador until my master says, come, sit. I want you right here. I want you doing what your job is as a dog, whether it's to chase the squirrels or check out who's at the front door or whatever. I want my inner Labrador to come into focus. And what I found was the most powerful way to do that was to go into my heart. And once I was in my heart, then my body came into alignment with it, and my mind came into alignment, and my animal self came into alignment. And with that breath and that intention to be in my heart, I was in such a better place. My ego liked it better. My body liked it better. It was easy for me to discipline my mind to keep going back to my heart because it felt so good and it looked good. Our ego wants to know how you looking, how you like me now, Well, if you've got a loving smile on your face, everybody loves you, as opposed to, and then you've got to deal with the results of that. So I'm getting that honed down to where I really want my mind to be in response to all the mess that's going on. It can make us anxious. It can make us sad. Peggy and I were talking about, we've been crying all week. There's a lot of sad stuff going on. It's appropriate to be feeling that sadness. It's appropriate to be feeling all the losses we're going through. But then where do you want your mind to be stable, landed, your default return to place where your aura is strong, your immune system is clicking along, everything in there feels good. Remember, we live in the felt sense of our being. We go in and out of our mind, we go in and out of our heart, but we live all the time in the felt sense of our being. Unless, of course, you're dissociative, and that's why you're fleeing. You're leaving that felt sense because it's not good. So as a healer, as a counselor, what I realized was no change could occur, no therapy would work if the person couldn't stay there because it felt so uncomfortable. I think that makes sense to some of you. That if you come back to the felt sense of your body and it's just negative and awful, why would you want to stay there? That's what dissociation is about. Does that make sense to you?
Yep.
So part of what we're doing is we're training our body mind, our happy Labrador. Labrador wants to be happy. Come, sit, stay, good dog. let's think happy thoughts. And the Labrador says, sure, this feels good, rub my tummy. I love it. So it's the process that we're doing is to build the habit of going back to that loving place. And the Buddha taught it as loving kindness. You know, the great teacher Confucius came to teach us about the Tao, and the Tao connects everything. Jill, are you coming back in again? Or another Jill has joined us?
I'm going to use my desktop and my Apple iPad.
Perfect. No problem. So except that my squirrel just happened. I'm totally off. Anybody remember where I was?
In the Tao.
You
I
were
was
feeding the
Tao.
dog.
Bless your heart. The Tao is that oneness. We all have that oneness. And that was what Confucius was trying to teach. We're all connected. We are cells within the human body. We are one cell of this human consciousness that is here. That's one way of thinking about our individuality. And that one cell connects to all really beautifully if we're doing it in loving kindness. But the Buddha said, look at your mind. You're craving for things. You're in aversion to things. You don't want to be here. You're not happy. Look at the suffering of your mind. Be mindful and choose what he called metta, which was loving kindness. It kind of went over the tops of the heads of a lot of the people there. But then Jesus came along, the great, great world teacher, and he said, look, all of these desert prophets and high holy men have just been building up rule after rule after rule until you are just so bound up with all of these dietary rules and when you worship and how you worship and what you eat and what you can't eat. And he said, blow off all that and focus on love. The Buddha was getting there. He was saying, be mindful that your mind's not on love. And then Jesus said, watch the only things you need to watch. Love the creator, the divinity in your own way, your own personal thing, and then love everybody else the best way you can. And it's like, done. It's a done deal. Don't worry about all the rest of the details. And getting to that place where that's all we're doing, I am here to tell you, it's happiness, it's prosperity, it's abundance, it's feeling, again, that oneness, and learning through this process, because I want to be this great warrior, I want to be cleared out of experiencing the most amazing process of forgiveness. How many of you got your handout today? I think I've done all the handouts I'm going to do for this class. And the handout that I sent out today, if you didn't get it, email me and I'll send you a copy. It's fresh off the presses. The steps of this warrior practice. And the first 3 steps really to sort of get you in the mood. They get your energy pulled together. And the heart and core of it is the 4th one. And the 5th, 6th, and 7th are the process of giving that wonderfulness that you've achieved out to your community. So have you noticed, I just did, there's 7 steps, and the 4th step, which would be the heart chakra step, is all about forgiveness and blessing. And I want to share with you that, you know, mostly I teach what I do, and I notice what's happening for me, and I see if it would be helpful for others. And what I'm finding by working into our heart coherence meditation, those of you who've been on this journey with me for a long time and your own journeys with this heart coherence meditation, being in that warm and beautiful and fuzzy place and asking my heart, who do I need to forgive today? Oh, Katie, bar the door and fasten your seatbelt. My life is changing so fast. It's like there's a breeze blowing through. It feels so light. And because I'm doing it every day, I am just clicking them off. I got a lot of people to forgive. Probably not you guys, but I do. So when we get into that place of forgiveness and then blessing someone who needs help in our life, we're at the core of this new discovery around what we give away is what we get back tons and tons over. 10 years ago, my wonderful teacher, Dr. David Hawkins, said, some of you have seen his chart of consciousness. It's like many, many that are out there. The lower levels are anger and hatred and fear. And the upper levels go through the intellect and wisdom, and then the heart and love, and then up to enlightenment. And it was a great, great awareness for me that this great world teacher said that love was higher than intellect. You're not going to figure it out, babe. You got to go through the heart. And what he said, somebody said, well, how do you know what your level of consciousness is? And he said, the level of consciousness and thereby the karma of the life is set by the spiritual will and its intention. So we've lived most of our lives from our third chakra, this one down here, and we've manifested and we've intended and we've wanted and we've desired. And this process is moving it up to fifth and sixth chakras where spiritual will lives. And we're saying, I have this intention of loving kindness and promoting the good, whatever your personal intention is that we're working with, and the greater intention of loving kindness for all. No divisions, no resistance, no good or bad. We're meeting out in that field beyond right and wrong. We're going out there and giving loving kindness to everyone, because that is the very, very, very powerful healing. It's not the antithesis. We're not bringing up love as the opposite to hate, because then you're in that resistance and that dualism. We're looking at the world of anger and all of the stuff that's going on right now. We're saying, I don't choose that channel. That's a very lively channel. It's playing on all the media. But I think I'm going to go up and just send loving kindness down on everybody, because that's what they all need. They all need more love in their lives. We all need more love in our lives. Your life becomes what you wish for the world. So by putting out loving kindness and your wish for the good, for the true, the beautiful, for other people, you cannot fail to not have that in your own life. It's going to happen. I may have mixed a few metaphors there, but what is happening in my life, because I've only been practicing this a short time, but it's a very, very powerful thing. It has high, high power, is that I'm going to that place where I notice a worry, I notice a reaction. I'm not watching the news hardly at all, but you know, it filters through if you have your iPad and you're looking at things. And I immediately go to, oh, that situation needs an outpouring of loving kindness. It needs a golden rain of blessing down on it. And that's where I want my mind to be. Do you see? In the midst of all this, we were born for this, people. Every one of you was born for this. Every one of you was born to hold strength and higher value in the midst of all this. This isn't going to last forever. It may get a little crazier before it gets better, but there's a wonderful outpouring of energy and healing. We have 20 years. How many of you listened to Tosha Silver? Tosha said Tuesday, yay, Tuesday that we have a 20-year cycle coming of all Aquarian influences, peace and justice and righteousness, and it's going to be poured out on the world. But apparently we're going through some stuff first, like an extinction event. We're going to evolve tremendously after this. But we are here to hold this loving balance during this time. And that's the warriorship. That's the warriorship. Those of you who have studied healing with me, I've said many times, to go into other people's pain, to go into their wounds, to go into their suffering, you have to be a warrior to be a healer. You have to have that Mars energy to go into the battlefield of somebody's pain. That's not just medics, man, that are involved in people's PTSD. Okay. So when we keep coming back to these things that bring the body mind peace, that you really get to see, I hope some of you are exploring the grounding. Here's my grounding mat right here for my little feet. I hope you're exploring doing the daily energy routine. It's not anywhere near as much fun to not be able to do it out on the wet grass, but give this a month, 6 weeks of a trial and see if it doesn't really affect the felt sense of your being. That sense of, my God, what can we do in the face of all this? Well, we can become that warrior of light that many of you thought about being a light bearer. How many of you have thought that about yourself, that you were a light bearer, that you were carrying a light into the world? Well, here we are. This is the practice for it. And each one of us will do it in our own way. We'll all do it in our own way. So any questions up to this point, or comments, or thoughts? The 4 handouts that I'm talking about are the steps for practice, the Warriors of the Heart meditation, the bibliography of A Journey of Consciousness. I wrote those out because I refer to a lot of those books often. The 4 Pillars of Energetic Healing, which is kind of the cover letter for this whole thing. And then the Daily Energy Routine. And I couldn't find my copy, and I was looking for my copy and looking for my copy. It's only changed, like 6 times since I've been doing it, at least. And I finally found it. It was poked up on the wall because I didn't want to lose it. So there it is. And the new and improved energy routine, the only thing we've really added is this pulling on the navies across the chest. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit today. If some of you have been studying energy medicine since way back in the 60s and 70s, there was always a picture, a black and white print of an Indian man sitting, and he had a crown chakra, and he had all these lines going all over his body, and he had his chakras, and it was a very common picture. A lot of people saw it, but he had all these little lines, this little fur coming out from his body. And I never knew what that was. And somebody said, oh, that's the nadis, Nadis. And one would be a nadi. And they're literally like energetic fur. If you've ever seen a Kirlian photograph, the Kirlian prints of the fingers, it looks like fur is coming out from the fingers. That's the nadis. And they are communication, vibratory threads that run through our field, run through the different levels of our body, and they're communicators. They're fine, fine little threads. Think of them as nano threads. And they come out from your body like fur. And if you run your hand over your body in a heightened sense of awareness, you can feel them. Some of you have had therapeutic touch done on you, and that's what you're feeling. You're feeling those little threads, your fur. It makes up your etheric field. And so what we're doing is we're connecting with one of the great crossovers of the nadis, and we're pulling them down, firm pressure between your bubalas and down to your opposite hip firmly. It's a strong pressure. You're connecting with the fascia in your body, and you can do it quickly. Slap it on there, grab a hold. That grab a hold is what helps you remember it's a firm pressure. And then I like to move right into the belt flow because it's a similar movement. What this does, what the whole energy routine does, and it doesn't matter if this isn't your energy routine, if your energy routine is yoga or Tai Chi or Qigong, if it's an energy routine, you're off the hook for doing this one. You can do yours. But an energy routine should set up communication between all of the energy systems of your body. Tai Chi does that. I think yoga does to a certain extent. Donna has a wonderful practitioner that teaches the yoga of energy medicine. And it's all over her website. You can check that out. But at any rate, what we're trying to do with the energy routine is to activate our energy bodies, bring them into that coherence that makes us very powerful, and then go from there into the meditation. And like I said on the handout about the steps to the warrior's practice, is that you don't have to do them all at once. That might not be convenient. It might be hard for you. You might be able to do the energy routine later in the day. You might do the meditation first thing in the morning. You might do the daily energy routine first thing in the morning, and your meditation after you've had your tea and fully awakened. I can't get straight out of bed and sit down and start meditating. My brain has not showed up yet. So I have my tea, I sort of get focused, and then I'm feeling the energy, and then I go into it. And sometimes I do it at different times. So let's look at that. If you have this handout, Steps to the Warrior's Practice, don't worry about it if you don't. I'm just going to go over it real quickly. The first step is the daily energy routine. The second step is the EFT tapping. And one of the things I said on this handout was we all have a resistance to giving up our old lazy Labrador ways and becoming a little more disciplined or a little more fabulous or a little more powerful. We all have a certain resistance to that. We don't want the responsibility. We don't want the energy. We don't want to have to change. And the tapping will help ease that through. If you tap every day, on your resistance to growing and becoming more fabulous, guess what might happen? You might grow and become more fabulous. I'm sort of feeling that, I have to tell you. So we are acknowledging that parts of us are in resistance. We're acknowledging that parts of us just really don't want to go there. We just want to go back to sleep in front of the fire. And just acknowledge those and give them some tapping to help settle them down so they're not causing resistance or sabotage in us. And then the heart coherence breath is really where my life changed, and then studying it as the group of 8, the power of 8, and seeing how being in the heart just changed everything. Set my mind free, set my guilt trips free, just changed so many things for me. And so we go into the heart, we bless ourselves, we bless others, we hold that intention for as long as you like. You know, once you quit listening to me, you can hold that intention of loving kindness for yourself and others for 20 minutes if you want. It's a beautiful bath. But once you've really settled there, then you ask your heart, who do I need to forgive? And just cancel their debt. Don't get into the story. Don't follow up all the things they did. They're there to have their debt stamped, canceled. Go away. You're free of me. I'm free of you. Here's your cords back. Let it go. And some people, like yourself, you might have to forgive a couple times a week. Help. Some people are continuing to be difficult. You might have to continue to forgive them. So what? You're working up a muscle. You can go there quicker and quicker. I love that. Let me find, I had something I wanted to say about that. The idea of, yep. Okay, I'll come back to that in a minute. So once you've done that forgiveness and you've gotten that freedom through your mind, then you can again allow your heart to show you someone that needs the power of your blessing right now. Someone that needs to be focused on in a loving way. One of the hardest things about this time and what we're going through is how isolated we all have to be. Thank you for showing up. I'm really glad to have you all over to my house. I miss you all desperately. It's so hard to be alone through this. And yet when we're in there and we're loving and we're in a loving space, those connections in our body, you know, the Catholics call it the body of Christ. In our body, those connections, remember, connections are the most important thing. Those connections will come up for us that need repair or need attention. This person needs our loving attention. We can't see them, we can't visit them, but we can connect and just pour loving energy into them. We can repair a relationship by forgiving that stupid thing they did that you're still bugged about. I'm still bugged about. And then we're in this clear, clean, open, giving space, this beautiful space. That's where you get in touch with your intention in the world and you ask for all that blessing on it. You're moving into being the actor, the hero, the warrior. Do you see? This is what makes it different between this feeling of being a victim to this. And it's hard for every one of us. We are all losing things and losing people and losing freedoms, and the world will never completely be the same again. But at the same time, we can stand tall and have intention and have connection to all the powers that be. So in stating our intention, I choose to be a fountain of good for the world and for everyone I meet. It's my intention today. And I ask fully my connection to divinity to pour down blessings on me about that, to pour down angelic attention. You know, a really good way to get your world going is get the God's attention, get the angels' attention. Dr. Hawkins had his complete enlightenment experience, he said, because he prayed and an archangel gave him attention for about a nanosecond and about fried him. So if we want to change, if we want power, we want energy, ask the angels and the archangels to witness your intention and to bless it. This moves it out of ego and brings it into spiritual will. Ask your guardians, your guides, your plant spirits, those animal spirits you've connected with, that tree in Yosemite, you know, those places that have intense connection for you. Ask all a blessing on that. And then we move into number 6, which is the warrior in service. This powerful being that you've evoked, that you're focusing, you're bringing all that power in and focusing it. You're now offering that disciplined service to your community, that loving attention, that loving kindness. Now you're a fountain of it. And Tosha just said the other morning, imagine sparkles coming out of your hands. Did you hear her say that? Imagine in the metta, the sparkles coming out of your hands. Imagine them blossoming out of your head, out of your crown chakra, blossoming out of your heart chakra. You become a fountain of loving kindness and intention. And believe me, it's got sparkles. It does. It's got sparkles and golden streams of energy, and you become this glorious fountain of loving kindness for your community. And practice it and practice it until, darlings, you can do it in a breath. You can see, you can hear the sirens, you can see the whatever is coming. The poor people in Louisiana, what are they on, 3 or 4 hurricanes this season? Mercy. And you think, oh, and you see golden blessings of loving kindness going down on all those poor people in the darkness with a hurricane going over, loving on them, not worrying, not ruminating, but loving on them. Okay? So that warrior energy, I want you to think about that warrior. We've talked about the spiritual warrior, the warrior of light, the warrior of the heart. How about mama bear warrior energy? Ever seen a mama bear go after somebody, or that great viral TikTok about the mama cougar that was going after the kid? It's been all over the internet, but the mama energy is what we want to bring forth, that mama bear, to soothe and guard and protect our child right now. One of the things I've been working with all summer from a lot of different sources, Tosha's one of them, a couple other teachers, is recognizing that right now your inner child is very frightened. Your inner child is worried. The grown-ups are not getting along. Things are sort of going to heck in a handbasket. And if the child doesn't have a strong anchor within you and feel safe and secure within you, it can start acting out. It can start demanding attention, demanding security, demanding things from you. And call forth that warrior, mama bear. You know, your warrior can be lots of different things. And gather up the child. And one of the things I thought about tonight was, let's do this meditation, not the energy routine, but let's do the meditation with the child sitting in our lap. Let's hold that child and make it part of this whole process. Because believe me, it's having reactions. There's a lot of triggers going on out there right now to a lot of our hard places. Whether it's the environment or the economy or the politics, we're all being triggered. And soothing and holding, you know, some of you have done journeying with me, and there are spirit animals that show up for the damaged child, the wounded child. You can call in those spirits. Mama cougar, whew, she's bad. Mama bear, mama grizzly. Bring those in to help soothe and guard and let your child know that she's very protected. Okay, so wanted to go over some points with you tonight. I hope that helps your process, informs your process, gives you things to think about. You're all doing this in your own way, at your own time. But I really wanted to have a place to respond to my community with strength and love and just a giving spirit. I wish I could give all to you. Some of you have seen my garden, and my grapes were crazy this year. And I had these beautiful little white champagne grapes, and they're all in my dehydrator right now making raisins. And the house smells of grapes turning into raisins. And it's such a nourishing, yummy smell. I wish I could give it to all of you. They are the best raisins you've ever tasted. So anyway, if you want to practice the daily energy routine seated, that's fine. I'm going to stand up and move, and you can all take a little break here for a second. I'm going to see if I can push the right buttons. Yep. I'm going to Get rid of all of you in a moment here. Let's see. Okay. Do. Don't want to switch the camera. Don't want to do that. Let's see. There is a button that says only I'm the one talking. Anyway, you can see me, right? Good.
No.
I hope you're all getting a view of me in the room, and we've moved out of gallery view. Coming in, if you want to bring yourself into place, one of the things I love to do is take a deep breath and come down. That is sunset coming into your heart, and then a deep breath up and out and exhale at your heart. One more time. Sunset coming in to your heart and sunrise. Beginning the breath, connecting the breath. The breath is the bridge to everywhere in your body, mind. It's really, really beautiful. Coming to the thumps, stomach 2, couple of good deep breaths here. Down to kidney 27, couple good breaths here. These are helping your grounding, helping your meridians to all go the right direction. Coming to your heart, this is conception vessel 17. And then down to spleen and tapping, deep breath. And then your crossovers, and we're gonna do 2, we're gonna go up to 10, 3, 4. The crossovers are all about getting every part of your body to communicate. If you think about your body as an army with lots and lots of different parts to it, armies don't do any good if they're not in communication. I'm gonna call that 10. Grasp here and pull across to your hip, and grasp, pull, and pull. I like to do it 3 or 4 times. I think this is 3 and 4. Beautiful. If I get out of the way the sheet is done, just don't pay any attention to it. So we've learned to do the belt flow like this, around, but you can also do it back and forth and back and forth. You can also start here in the back at your main men and come over and across and over and across and then down the legs. That connects top and bottom, connects your head and your gut. It's a really, really good one to do. And so after this, let's go into, I'm not going to look at my list, I'm just going to do them the way I think. Let's do a separating heaven and earth. I'm going to take a deep breath in, push up and down. Beautiful. And push up and down. And one more. And down, and lean over and let yourself come up in a series of figure eights that you're going to continue now. Come with your hands to the side of your head. This is the Celtic weave, and weave your aura together, weaving it and weaving it in figure eights all the way down to your feet. And then you're going to fluff your aura toward you as you come up, all smoothed out, clear out to the ends of your fingertips. Come back to center again. Beautiful. And so now I like to do the crossover with my foot, do the crossover with my hand. And this is the Wayne Cook from a standing position. The reason I like this so much is I can feel the inner vortex within the inner torus of my energy body, just fleeting, but it really is my core energy. We take 3 or 4 or 5 breaths there. And of course, the other way to do this is sitting in a chair. Now I've crossed my right foot over and my right hand over. Sitting in a chair and crossing the arms and pulling up on the leg is the way we've done it a lot. But this is just as effective. And I love that feeling of that inner vortex. spinning up and down between my head and my first chakra. Coming back out, coming up to the forehead, taking a deep breath in. Breathe there for 3 or 4 breaths. Again, communication between the right brain and the left brain. And when we're there, just go right into the crown pull. Pull across your forehead, then pull across the top of your head, across the top of your head, only pulling out an inch or two, the back of your head, a little hard with that. Come down to your shoulders, pulling across your neck and your shoulders. Deep breath in and come down to your heart. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The only thing I can remember that's left to do is to zip it up, bring up that zip up, and then hook it up, your third eye and your belly button, tug up and breathe. Beautiful, beautiful. So get your seat, your chair, just give me a minute here. So glad we could do this. Emma's running up and downstairs trying to figure out who the heck I'm talking to. She'd like to be down here. So I need my glasses, and if you could mute your see, yes. Ta-da. Nope, that's the recording. Oh well, just mute your mics if you can, and if you can't, I will figure out. There we go. Switching to active speaker, which means I should be the only one whose mic is on. So not to worry. Okay, so going back to this idea that in part we have some resistance in us to doing this. We have some resistance to going all the way within. So let's just tapping with your dominant hand on your left dominant hand, the side there we call the karate chop. Just a nice tapping and say, even though some part of me is in resistance, I love and accept myself anyway.
I love and accept myself anyway.
Even though there's a part of me that does not want to go deep within,
Even though there's a part of me that does not want to go deep within.
I love and accept myself just the way I am.
Just the way I am.
Even though some part of me is resisting this process, I don't want to go there.
Some part of me is resisting this process. I don't want to go there.
I accept and acknowledge that part.
Acknowledge that part.
And I love that it's been trying to keep me safe.
And I love that it's been trying to keep me safe.
Good. So come up here to your inner eyebrows. I love that part that's keeping me safe.
I love that part's keeping me safe.
The side of your eyes, all that resistance that I carry within me. All those feelings that I have about discipline and meditation.
All those feelings I have about meditation.
I accept my resistance.
I accept my resistance.
I accept the parts of me that don't want to go there.
I accept the parts of me that don't want to go there.
I love that I'm making new choices.
I love that I'm making new choices.
This resistance to inner stillness.
This resistance to inner stillness.
This resistance to becoming powerful.
This resistance to becoming powerful.
So take a deep breath into your heart. And just begin to focus on the plexus of nerves and energy and blood flow and the organ, the heart. Breathing into that plexus. You might notice the breath around the nose. You might feel the feeling in your chest, just letting the breath flow in and out. We've just done the energy routine. Can you feel your body? Can you feel the edges all over your body? Breathing into your heart. And in your own way of personalizing this meditation, if you have a breathing style that puts your body into a deep space, for goodness sake, follow that one. If you would like to follow the one I'm using right now, it's breathing in to the count of 4, holding the breath for 4, breathing out to the count of 4, and relaxing in the empty space for 4. So beginning to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, holding, 2, 3, 4, and exhaling, 2, 3, 4, and resting. Feel the breath blessing you coming in, blessing you holding all that oxygen, releasing the blood gases, and resting at neutral. Biochemically, there's a lot that goes on when you exhale and rest. Breathing in to the count of 4, holding, breathing out to the count of 4. Notice your tongue and your face, and let your tongue relax as you breathe into your heart. Let your tongue relax on the floor of your mouth. And notice that there's a big empty space behind your eyes. As you breathe into the heart and feel that great center in your body. Breathing into your 4th chakra, to your heart, to your love center. And thinking about your own body right now and supporting it and loving it. Is there some part of your body that needs your attention, your blessing? Maybe your knees are sore, or your back's a little tense. Oh, sending gratitude and love to that part of your body. Seeing like a golden salve being poured over you like honey. Ooh, that honey golden salve that's so healing. And see it now flowing over all of your body, loving kindness and attention. See if you can feel that through your whole body. And then with your mind's eye, look out into your space. And from this loving, content place in your heart, love on some aspect of your home, your personal space, your yard, the trees that took such a beating last week. Loving on your personal space and sending out your blessing and your gratefulness for where you live. And then think of your town, your environment, and bring your loving attention to some aspect, some part of your hometown that needs your love, your county, your neighborhood. Loving kindness pouring out of you and pouring into your community. I always think of the emergency people at the hospital and in the ambulances and the fire department, blessing them and sending them love and support. Breathing deep into your heart, feeling that loving kindness, that heart connection to everything around you. Who or what needs your forgiveness right now? Who or what are you willing to cancel the debt, to release the bondage between the two of you? Forgiving and letting go, no longer bound to this person or this happening. Blessing it the best you can on its way. Now bringing to mind someone in your community, maybe in your family, maybe it's yourself, that really needs extra love and attention today. We bring that deep within that person, fountaining from their own heart as we send our love to them, to ourselves. And each one of you hold that person up, and the whole group will send loving kindness to them. Breathing into your heart, letting the love flow out to that person. Wrapping them in golden light. Buddha would say, oh, may you be happy. Oh, may you come out of your suffering. We're offering them that loving kindness, that blessing. And in this beautiful space, remind yourself of your intention in the world. This is you at your very best, in your heart of hearts, doing the best you can to help others. What is your intention? And I call on all these forces, these divine connections that we all have, and all of the angels and archangels to see, to witness, to bless our intention. Ooh. Do you know when the Dharma is taught, there are more unseen beings than seen beings? You are all surrounded by angels. And call on the plant spirits and animal spirits that have blessed you and connected with you over your life. Call on your own guardians and guides for a blessing. And let this intention be the clothing and the armor of your warrior. As you step into your warrior, holding the child, holding the intention, and holding this space for loving kindness. Let it be a fountain of love coming out of you. Streaming from your heart, streaming from your hands. A beacon of loving kindness. A great light, like a searchlight in the sky. May our community be filled with loving kindness. May all we know be blessed in this golden rain of loving kindness. Bringing that back to yourself, as if you're wrapping these angelic wings around yourself, these warriors' arms around yourself and your child and your heart. Bring this love within. See your heart as a flame of love. Surround your field. A flame of love fills your energy field. You are that. You are that flame of love. Thank you so much for joining again tonight. Looks like these will be about an hour. I would love your comments and I would love your feedback. Feel your feet. Feel yourself in the chair. Feel yourself full of loving kindness. So thank you so much. Thank you so, so much. Carla, I'm so glad you found a way to participate.
Yes.
I've been,
Very great.
I've been sending energy for that for the last couple days.
Oh, good. Thank you.
And Phil and Lauren, so good to see all of you. Thank you so much for this. If you have any questions or comments, you can
Thank
email
you.
or text them, but see you next week, guys.
Alrighty.
Thanks,
Bye.
Barb.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, he was at the workshop.